Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to incorporate your business with Stripe Atlas. So for those who do not know what Stripe Atlas is a sub-product offering of Stripe, the very popular payment processor. And what it allows you to do is form a C corporation in Delaware. It makes the process pretty easy by allowing you to sign documents electronically, issue stock to founders, and it all does that with a very reasonable price of $500. So before you get started, I highly recommend having all co-founders being present. Will just help, especially since you have to deal with some sensitive information. Be sure everybody who is going to be a part of this newly formed company has a driver's license, passport, or state ID available, as well as a credit or debit card. The credit or debit card is to have the $500 fee charged, which even though you will give your credit or debit card number up front, your card will not actually be charged until about 2 weeks later. They wait until after you've incorporated before they charge your card. Each founder will need to have their social security number, so be sure to have that at the ready. And then also have a link to your site or a link to a site mockup in case you're not yet live. And also, I highly recommend being prepared to answer the following questions before you start the application. 2 quick questions that Stripe does ask is, tell us about your product, what you're building, who are your customers, and when and how much you do plan on charging them. And they do like to see links to mockups or screenshots. Also, they like to know a little bit about the company, like how it got started, who's on the team, and if you've raised any money from investors. The minimum response to each of these questions is 250 characters, and the maximum response is 600 characters. Again, I do recommend having that information at the ready so you can really breeze through the application when you do decide to start working on the application. And as a special sign-up offer, you can go ahead and follow this link to get $5,000 off your first Stripe processing fees. Okay, let's get started. So you're going to go to atlas.stripe.com. And if you have not already yet created a Stripe account, you'll need to create one. Go ahead and enter an email and a password, and then create an account. You'll get an email that asks you to confirm you are who you are. And then once you have that at the ready, go ahead and log in, and you will be greeted with the first page of the Stripe Atlas application. Provide your website. And as I mentioned, these are the 2 questions that they are going to ask you about. So go ahead and provide the answers to those questions. I'm going to say that the business is not a marketplace. Save and continue. At the time of this recording, only C corporation was available. Stripe may have brought back the LLC option, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to proceed as if you are trying to create a C corporation. And I'm going to also make the assumption that you are using a subsidiary of another company. This is a brand new company and it's not a subsidiary, so I'm going to go ahead and select no, and then save and continue. And now just start entering basic information about the company. So the company name, the primary source of funding for the business at the beginning. You have a few different options you can choose from: savings, investors, etc. Your business address. You do need to have a physical location of your business. It cannot be PO boxes or a virtual mailbox for mail forwarding address. So do make sure you do have an address so that they can send legal documents to that address. They highly recommend for the number of shares, you go with the default option of 10 million. So that's what I went with. And then a phone number. And now you need to talk about the representatives of the newly found company. So enter in your email, phone, basic information. This is where you will enter your social security number and your personal address, not to be confused with the business address, your personal address. The co-founder will need to do the same, filling out their own section when you just click over here, this Add a Founder button. or link rather. And again, you also specify your title, intended percentage ownership. So this intended percentage ownership, 100% if you're a solo founder, or if you're planning on being a co-founder. Let's say you have 2 founders and it would be 50-50. Or if you have 4 co-founders, it would be maybe 25% each. Again, that percentage ownership is up to you. So after you put in your information, and again, if you have a founder, you would click on add a founder, and when you do that, it's going to show the same stuff, but this time the co-founder will enter their information. Company roles, go ahead and provide the roles from the dropdown until all these are selected, and then hit save and continue. So Stripe recommends that you open up a business bank account. You have to be able to have a business bank account in order to do business with Stripe. So for your convenience, you could go ahead and select yes. If you do select yes, then you will be, they have partnered with Silicon Valley Bank or SVB. For convenience, you can go ahead and use them. If you have your own bank that you do want to use, there is no obligation. You can always select the no option. But for simplicity, I'm just going to go ahead and select yes straight down. And if you change your mind later, you can always add another bank to your Stripe account. Save and continue. And then here is pretty much the last part of the Stripe application process. It is the payment. Again, you'll put in your credit card or debit card information here. Stripe will not charge your card until after your company is incorporated. If your company never ends up getting incorporated, or there are problems or issues, then you will never be charged. But if you do incorporate, you will be charged. And again, it's usually about 2 weeks after you actually hit this button, pay and submit. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you pay and submit, you'll see this application submission message. And let's go ahead and check the Stripe dashboard. So this is what you're going to see for about a day or two. And they do let you know that it will take about 2 weeks to complete from start to finish. So about a day later, you will see that the documents will be sent to you digitally. You will get them through a DocuSign-like tool where you will just e-signature as necessary. Do read those documents thoroughly and consult a lawyer if need be. After the documents are signed, you'll usually be incorporated. It only took about 2 days for my company to be incorporated. Actually, it was faster to incorporate than to get the bank account all set up and configured. So your results may vary, but about 2 or 3 days later, my company was incorporated. And then a few days after the incorporation, my bank account was open and verified, and I was able to exchange money from the account. And then this is what you'll see then for about another week and a half. You'll just see this screen right here. You'll notice that it takes about 10 to 14 business days after the incorporation date to receive your tax ID number. For me, it did take about 12 business days after the incorporation date. So about 14 business days, and then I did receive the tax ID. And once you receive the tax ID, you're all set up. And the Stripe Atlas process is over. Look out for more information from Stripe Atlas via email after you receive your tax ID. And that's pretty much it. It was a very simple, straightforward, easy process with Stripe Atlas. I highly recommend it. And if you're thinking about starting up your own business, Stripe Atlas is the way to go. You can go ahead and refer to this link to save $5,000 off your first Stripe processing fees when you use this link here. If you like this video, please comment. Thanks.